ODeen Kent Redman was born on December 24, 1937, at his home in Albion. He was a welcome Christmas present to his parents, Victor and Mildred Redman. ODeen was the first grandchild and was surrounded by grandparents, aunts, and uncles who loved to spoil him. He was able to enjoy all the attention until he was joined by his sister Beverly and 12 years later, his younger brother Barry, making the family complete. ODeen was born into the telecommunications business that was started in Albion by his grandparents Mike and Jeanette Breslin. In 1929, with one switchboard, a few miles of Army field wire, and 18 customers. His parents were both involved in the small company, so ODeen spent much of his time by his grandmother's side at the switchboard. He was a quick learner and enjoyed helping Grandma with all the wires. By the time he was in the 3rd grade, he was able to relieve his grandmother for short spans of time. ODeen grew up and attended school in the Albion Valley through his 8th grade year. His leadership abilities had already begun to shine as he was the speaker of his graduation in May of 1952. His speech was titled, "Beyond the Visible Horizon." ODeen attended high school at Declo High School, where he excelled in all forms of athletics. He was one of the famous 5 who won the state track meet with the least amount of members. He held many leadership positions throughout high school and was chosen outstanding member of the speech department and represented the state of Idaho on a 2-week tour of the United Nations in New York City. He was valedictorian of his class of 1956 and presented the valedictorian address. He married his high school sweetheart, Darla Anderson, on September 8, 1957, at the Church of Transfiguration in Moose, Wyoming. He and Darla lived in Salt Lake while he finished his college education. ODeen attended college at the University of Utah, majoring in electrical engineering, and graduated from the Salt Lake City School of Electronics in 1961. After graduation, they moved back to Albion to start his career in the telecommunications business. In 1963, ODeen's father passed away suddenly, and ODeen found himself the manager of the Albion Telephone Company at the age of 28. 6 months later, his grandmother Breslin passed away. The challenges of a growing company were taken in stride and with a tremendous amount of dedication. In 1965, his mother suffered a heart attack while attending a telecommunications conference in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, leaving ODeen not only the responsibility of the company, but also the guardianship of his 12-year-old brother Barry. This was a time when his leadership skills were put to the test. ODeen and Darla were blessed with 3 children of their own: Vicky, who lives in Montana, Rich Redman, general manager and 4th generation of Albion Telephone, and Dina, who also resides in Montana. The family enjoyed living in the beautiful Albion Valley and enjoyed everything that it represented. They spent many hours together camping and fishing with neighbors and friends. Hunting was also an important part of the family tradition. Many of the weekends were spent seeking out the perfect buck or trailing that famous bull elk. These traditions are shared with his children and 15 grandchildren, as well as his 15 great-grandchildren, who are the true loves of his life. ODeen has always had a passion for flying and received his license in 1967 and was more than willing to take flight anytime he could find someone willing to go. He spent many hours in the past 40 years flying friends and family. He flew many a cowboys to rodeos, employees on business trips, kids for prom dates, and passing Boy Scouts off on their aviation merit badge. He always felt that if a scout could survive the roller coaster, they deserved the badge. ODeen has always been an important part of the community. He was appointed to fill the unexpired term of his father on the Albion City Council in 1963 and re-elected for a 2nd term. In 1970, he was elected mayor to the city of Albion and served in that capacity until 1974, when he built his present home outside the city limits. He served on the Albion Highway District for over 20 years and was the secretary of the district. He has served as president of the Rocky Mountain Telephone Association Board as well as the USTA Board. He spent numerous years on the Raft River Electric Co-op Board, serving as president and board member. He was on the advisory board for the NRECA, as well as the Idaho State University Telecommunications Board, and also served on the advisory board for the Bureau of Land Management. He has also been a member of the Masonic Hall and recently received his 50-year pin. ODeen has been involved with many scout trips, taking his pack llamas and 30-plus boys and leaders to the pristine lakes in the Copper Basin as well as the White Clouds. ODeen has taken time out of his busy schedule to give numerous kindergarten classes tours of his llama ranch. His patience with these little people's questions is rather amazing, as explained by more than one teacher. ODeen and Darla were chosen for the Cassia County Fairground Marshals in 2009 and consider it an amazing honor. Since ODeen's semi-retirement, he has enjoyed life to the fullest. He and his wife Darla have enjoyed spending time at their property in Salmon. He enjoys his children and grandchildren and getting together with them for any occasion in Salmon, which is closer for his Montana kids. He has enjoyed spending time with his many great friends, rather fly fishing up the river for a quick lunch or riding his Harley for a scenic tour. Together, Darla and ODeen have recently become snowbirds, going south for the winter. He has enjoyed very much this new adventure in the deserts of Arizona. ODeen has always believed that it is important to live life to the fullest and has passed that advice on to many young people. ODeen has witnessed the growth of the Albion Telephone Company go from a switchboard and a handful of customers to fiber optics and over 5,000 customers. He has led a small business into a top-end telecommunications industry. He has and always will be loved and adored by all the employees that he has worked side by side with for so many years. If they have only learned two things from the many years of employment, it is there are no freebies in life, and when you all bunch up together to visit, a single grenade would get you all. He truly has witnessed beyond the visible horizon and has been an incredible leader in the communications industry, as well as in the community he shares. ODeen Kent Redman, your 2012 Businessman of the Year.